That's how you know all the black people. That's the black people signal right there. In my mind, I want you to be free. Mm-hmm. I wish you were there in my family. Won't you listen to me in my mind? That's the international black. Hey, it's time for Christmas. It's time. I swear it hit December 1st the other day. You know, I was playing Christmas music earlier this year, but you know, I got that old soul, so I like to listen to old stuff all the time. But you know, my number one go to now, just because what I was raised on was the Temptations Christmas. Give love at Christmas Day. That's me right there. Now I got some writing to get back to. And then you know, I got this schedule going on. So in order for me to keep on track of everything else, I can't be long tonight. But y'all see, I'm being Mr. Consistent. What are we on? Episode 8, 9, 7, 7, 8, 9? One of them. One of them. You know, I just got the fresh cut. Tell me, I look younger. I've been hearing that because I didn't shave the face a little bit. Can y'all believe your boy 26? I just haven't argued with somebody calling them 27. They 26. Lord have mercy, y'all. I'm glad I'm 26. I'm glad. I ain't 27 yet. But when I told y'all, remember I said the mid 20s just hit. Then all of a sudden, but now you know I'm over here doing the stuff, and I'm just thinking about how old my parents was and stuff. You know, I'm gonna say parent. My shout out, mama. You know, back then, you know, and just now coming up on these ages, and I understand some of these things that as a parent and the things that I'm going through. I can only imagine on top of that, you having children and you having to learn these processes as you're growing with your child. You know what I mean? And we ain't talking about just no any child. We talking about child this receptive, can communicate and all that. And then you having to go through life, venture through all those problems. You know, just I don't think we humanize and give enough credit to all of our young parents out there. And you know, some of them is trash, right? Some of them just straight trash, trash. Some of them just straight trash. But mine was a good one. Dropped a lot of wisdom. Not perfect, but amazing, right? Always had food to eat. Had the hustle. Um, Ideas, creative, artistic, um, very empowering, very impactful. So, and you know, there's just some things that you learn throughout your life, you know, um, and then you know you actually give that credit when you realize when you sit at the age to where you like, oh man, because you can't look the harsh critique you can give on a parent is if they've been there before, right? But if they just trying to figure it out, why? What you want to be hard on them for? You know what I mean? And especially the young ones, right? Whenever you get to this age and think about how you handle situations, now think about how you handle a child. On top of that, a child ain't no shame in my tribe's game. You know, ain't no shame in that. My mom started out early. I think 17, about to turn 18, and then from on up, that's all she, you know, all she had was her kids, and we here with her. We sticking beside her. Amazing, amazing. You meet her, she most caring, most loving, most genuine person in the world. Um, still have a slight fear. Yeah, any of y'all still scared of y'all parents? Got them quick triggers. And then like some of those things that y'all can like instantly somebody can be like, that's your mama, that's your daddy right up in there. I think we all got that. But you know, the ones who ain't trying to hide it. The ones who ain't trying to hide it. And sometimes your parents will call you out on it. And you know what? Like, I want to say this. Y'all saw the name of the podcast, but all of the stuff that happened inside of life, you know, I'm grateful for because you know, I always knew that there was one person I could call. You know, everybody ain't that blessed. They got that one person they can call. And that's their mama. You know, you only get one of them. You only get one of them. You know, some people be like, you don't ever wish you had a daddy, or you ever, wonder what that had. The thing, okay, whenever there's a lack of something in my mind, personally, whenever you don't have something starting out, you never really, I don't have a thirst for it because I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? The thirst for it that I did have was learning what it was to be a man. Because, of course I had men around me and stuff like that, but these aren't the ones that I wanted to shape my life after. Right? That's something, I didn't want to shape mine, mold myself afterwards. Nothing was wrong with these men. These men provided for their families and stuff like that. It ain't like I just got a whole bunch of ain't crap people up inside of my life. It just wasn't people that I just genuinely wanted to mold my, like I want to have these conversations of, deep conversations, not just sport conversations, not just women conversations, life conversations, aspiration conversations, dedication type conversations. You know what I mean? I had a conversation with my brothers a few days ago, which was it was good. It was a nice laugh. Kind of held me up from some sleep because I was on these. I'm on this schedule right now to where I'm working long hours and stuff. But we was having these conversations, and then I started to think about if I'm gonna have a special guest pretty soon and stuff, what would I talk about? And I started thinking about some stuff back to my childhood, and just thinking about some recent history and stuff like that. And my mind was kind of blocked on some of these stories. And I usually pride myself on having a good memory, especially if something's brought up to me, excuse me. But I couldn't like start thinking about no stories and stuff like that. And I was like, man. And like some people just wouldn't have a clear idea of what that would be about. I got an idea that it's probably a lot of trauma. And you know what I mean? Bypass trauma. You know what I mean? That you done went through. So, you go to your safe place. My safe place, um, my safe place is peace, quiet, um, and stable. There was a lot of moving parts going on inside of my childhood, whether that's if we're here or going to another place, or if there was yelling, or how do you get yourself inside of the area that's quiet? Um, and you can talk about the good, but you can also talk about the times where situations needed growth. And I'm starting to think back, and certain things will take me back to those places. Certain triggers will take me that back to those places. Like I'll listen to some songs that I have demos of and stuff like that, and then just think about where I was at that point, what I was thinking about in that point, or a certain laugh, or a certain joke, or just a certain moment inside of the day, to where I just sit there and I listen to somebody else, and then whatever they said just takes me back to wherever. Or I listen to a song that I'm listening to up inside of the car, and then it'll take me back to that place. And just thinking about what trauma actually does to your mind. Um, I can't say I was always able to look from the outside looking in, and I always knew how to make a decision on rationality. Um, but I will say, and I'm not going to keep on repeating myself over this. I want to make it very clear. I'm healed, right? I'm healed. I have a lot of growth and all that type of stuff. But I will say, the most mind heavy thing that I've been through in my life. And remember, I'm only 26. I'm only 26. Okay. So let's slow down. I'm 26. But as far as from this point, 2020 had to be the most trying time mentally for myself. But it also showed a lot of strengths that I did have. And that will go to show to what also happened with this year as well. and showing what God is real. But we'll talk about that one another day. But 2020 had a lot going on that year. I had a breakup going on. I lost my job. I was furloughed. And what happened? What happened? The pandemic. The pandemic. So all of this is at the beginning of the year, y'all. Kobe died, which was a big impact because I was watching him all throughout my high school career. So, all of this, it was like shot. And this is the first 2-3 months of 2020, right? There was so much going on then. A lot of that part of the year was focused on growth. But then I feel like, and I want to be honest here, I feel like I started doing some things that I did as a child. I started getting very into the arts again and getting motivated and getting back into those things, but it was escapism. So it got from a point of growth and not sitting in that hole and trying to figure out how you can become better to an escape from reality, right? Being who you want to be on the screen, or doing what you love, getting into that practice of being successful, feeling wanted, right, onto the screen, showing that there was a desire for you out there rather than just being settled with, hey, everything is okay. And we go back to the one to where we was talking about the failures in the episode of failures, but now we're talking about trauma and what that can do to your mind. That can really mess you up. You forget things, right? You tend to desensitize things. You tend to you'll sit there and you just can't you can't fathom things, so you just push it aside and your mind will just shut down from it to protect itself, right? So a lot of those memories are just hidden, and it's great. You probably should have a therapist to unlock those things, but I also feel like doing some groundwork and just sitting with yourself, you find out a lot of things and how to unlock those things as well. But how many people are going to want to be challenged to sit there by themselves and face that trauma? You know what I mean? All those quiet thoughts that you have during the day, they get louder when you go to sleep at night by yourself, when it's shut down. It's just nothing you but them four walls. So yeah, like, and there's nothing wrong. There ain't nothing wrong with sitting there talking about trauma, forgotten trauma. There's nothing sitting there wrong about facing the facts. You know what I mean? And so when I would sit there and then I just be sitting here and I'm like, man, let me think about these childhood times. And I don't want to even just think about the stuff that we've been talking about over and over again. I want to think about a story that I remember that maybe I gotta tell my brothers or something like that. And then, they're like, oh yeah, I remember that. I don't really have those right now. I don't have those. But I also would look back, back then, this is how I always say, man, I don't like going into great detail. I like telling you the beginning, middle, end right there. I don't like telling you any in between. I'm kind of just straight to the point. And I can't even give you that. I can't even tell you that because of trauma. But there was a lot of good components in there. And I want everybody to understand, everybody got trauma. All right. There's good and bad parts of your life, but the majority of my life, I will say that there was good growth, healthy, and everybody got some of that trauma built up in there. But trauma is going to get passed down. You do your best to overcome it. You do your best to communicate through it. But trauma going to get passed down. That's something that's inevitable. It's almost like death. It's inevitable, right? It's a cycle. It's the practice of being human. It's something that comes with life. Trauma. That's it. And I don't want nobody to feel sorry for nobody just because you can't remember some part of your life just because of the trauma that went with it. And you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not, and these are things that we have grown and healed from, right? But it's just something we just have untapped inside of our head, just because of the safeness, the security. I heard a piece about the person you are today is the person you felt safest with. And yes, you could say that as yourself, but you could always have that adult that you cling to. Um, I don't ever feel like that I was in like crazy danger and stuff like that. I can also think about how I was as a child. I was always clowning around, acting a fool, trying to make people laugh, trying to make people smile and stuff like that. Because I always feel like serving others was a great deal, and it went a long way. Um, one of the greatest compliments you can ever get is being genuine, being giving, being of service. That's one of the greatest compliments that you can be. And I don't do it I do it to show people that there's hope inside of this world. And that sounds cliche, that sounds corny, but that's real. That's real. With all that trauma going on inside the world, all the hurt, all that pain, all the sorrow, the strife, those burdens, those grudges being held, all of that going on inside of the world, just know that somebody is out there still just doing something out of the generosity of their own heart. Just to show you the love is still here. Ain't that what the season, right? Reason for the season. That's what the season is for, right? So if you ever sit there and just like you over here trying to remember something from your past, um, and you just can't untap it, and you just can't get it out your mind, or you just can't think about what was going on while you was a child and stuff, maybe I want you to have a deeper look inside of yourself and say, man, do I got some trauma that I need to work on? Um, how do I say it? Look, I'm gonna be real on this podcast. Okay, well, somebody I used to know would have plenty of conversations talking about some things that they didn't appreciate inside of the past, or some things that their parents have done and all that type of stuff. And we'll just talk about that, how it made you feel, and holding people accountable for those things and stuff, or what you could and couldn't share, what you would and what you wouldn't allow, and all that. But you can see that trauma, you can see the fear, and stuff, but just something that could never be worked through. But I want to tell the person through here, don't make yourself into that person that could be the punching bag for it. Right? Excuse me. The person that you want to work on stuff, you want to talk about stuff, work through things, but then all of a sudden you show these people this amount of respect, but when everything falls through, you're the one that's being taken out on. Don't allow yourself to be that person. Stand up for yourself. I'm trying to help you. If you don't want to help yourself, just let me know, because I will not be that bag to be punched on. That's what you need to start working on. Ain't no sense of getting that trauma passed on to you when you're trying to help somebody else out. And also, you can't get angry at that person, because that's just a response mechanism to protect themselves, because they're trying to escape that place. And escapism is good, y'all, until it becomes your only source of protection, right? First thing to do whenever you got some trauma is realize, hey, this is not okay. Hey, this person is, you have to humanize the person, because nobody is that evil, right? Some people are just, I was going to say not serviced, but how do I say this? Some people, and I believe there are narcissists in the world. I believe there's a lot of narcissists in the world. I don't believe everybody who does wrong is a narcissist. I do want to clarify that too. I believe there are a lot of people that have lack of accountability. I don't believe that everybody who lacks accountability is a narcissist. I feel like that's an easy term to get around and stuff like that. I just feel like those are a lot of people who lack growth, because they don't look like looking at themselves as imperfect. And the reason why they don't is because they know that they are, which we all are. Just humanize yourselves. That's all you got to do. We hold people too much of a pedestal. We hold ourselves accountability as our heroes. We hold ourselves to the standard of being our heroes, um, but not accepting the reality of things and knowing that their heroes are just as flawed as us as well. So let's bring it down a notch. Our whole grasp on this life um, is not susceptible because our comparison is a thief of joy. By the way, comparison is a thief of joy. Our comparisons of other people will kind of bring us down, and it doesn't help with the social media world either because what are we basing our comparisons off of? You hear a lot of successful people. The reason why they're going to go get it because they saw it. They saw it in their grasp. The things that's not in your grasp is over the internet. If you go outside and you see somebody living in a nice house and that's your friend or something like that, and then you get to go over there, that's in your grasp. Some people still can become envious, but if you can go out and go reach it. But I'm saying that with the comparisons of people and stuff like that, that really takes a toll, and it fictionalizes what reality is. And then everything. So the grass is greener. The grass is greener. I can tell you there are people in your life. There are people in my life that wish they were still in your life. They still wish they were in my life. But they had to go venture out in the world and see if the grass was green. Everybody, you know what I mean? Everybody got issues. You know what I mean? Is everybody willing to work on those issues? That's the reason why the grass ain't greener. You know what I mean? The grass is real green on this side. You know what I mean? Because if you hear it, that means you willing to work on your stuff. You willing to get better. You willing to notice that you were sick. And, you were holding people, you were being challenging, holding people accountable because guess what? Like-minded people are comfortable, real comfortable sitting together. Real comfortable because they don't want nothing more. They like just sitting in that same old place. They like sitting in that same old place. But reflection, I will say the most dangerous part of growth is reflection because you can get stuck there. Because what are you reflecting on? You're reflecting on the good times, the bad times. Good times, you can get there so much, you're like, man, I miss those days. The bad times, you're like, I want to get away from those days, and you can't face them. Reflection is the hardest time. I get hit with some reflection every now and then it starts humanizing. I'm like, oh man, I was a dumbass. I missed this. I missed that. And you can't beat yourself up about it, but you got to be realistic. I'm like, man, whoo. And then you start setting up boundaries on those areas. As soon as you get past that step, though, you start setting up those barriers, and you're like, can't cross that again. Because there's no amount of love, right? Affection, service, that can get in the way of your boundary. Because if you allow that to pass, you allow yourself to be disrespected over and over again. No love lost against the person. But if you can't even hold them accountable to that part, and they can't show you enough to respect to get past that area right there, then that serves you no good. You are setting yourself up in the long run. So there's some trauma that you can't control. And there's some trauma that is just forced upon you, right? But a lot of our trauma, we can take accountability for. A lot. And I'm a strong believer in that. It's tragic trauma that I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about some situations to where you holding grudges and all that type of stuff. Have you ever sat back and say, what did I allow? I got my good shirt on when it says, thou shalt not try me. That is in the book of Mood 24/7. All right. Don't try me. Don't try me. Have you ever just said, what have I allowed? What have I let get past me? I'm going to let you slide with that one. I'm going to let you slide. What about making it clear from the get-go? And I got a smooth cutoff. Y'all, they should call me scissors because I'm so sharp. Y'all like that? Y'all like that? They should call me scissors because I'm so sharp. I got a smooth cut off. Ooh, it's gone. It's gone. I got a smooth one because I sit here and I ask, what's the point? And then I have these moments of, okay, well, I'm gonna see if you give forth the same amount of energy. We talked about this. A lot of these situations that we talk about all coincide with each other. I had these talks on my Let's Talks when I was doing those 3 years ago before my Facebook got hacked. But how much are you willing to let pass? How much are you willing to let go of without seeing the actual proof of growth? You can hear a lot of words, right? You can hear a lot of words, a lot of I'm sorry's, I do better. I didn't mean for this to happen. You can do all that. But what about the action that goes with it? Actions speak louder than words, right? What about the actions that go with it? You can't keep on letting somebody beat up on you physically, mentally, emotionally. You can't let them keep on doing that to you without you being serious. First of all, you got to be serious about you can't be afraid to lose a relationship because of how you feel. You can't. You can't sit there. I'm so scared that I'm gonna lose this person out of my life. This person I'm supposed to be with forever. We supposed to go to our graves together. We supposed to be friends and all. No, you can't. No. As much effort as I put in that trust to have you in my life by my side, be my friend, my homie, or whatever. Look, I should be able to just let that go if you can't respect me, because that means you ain't for me. Trust, you know what I mean? Hold me accountable. Call me out. Those simple things. If they ain't even calling you out, you might need to let them go. I don't want nobody scared of me. I don't want nobody feeling like they can't speak to me. Right? I don't want nobody who feel like they need to tiptoe around me. I don't need none of that. My personality is enough to where I don't want you tiptoeing around me, because I sure ain't gonna tiptoe around you. I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear. Not what you want to hear. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. And I'm always gonna do that. And that's why I'm gonna be as solid as solid come. That's it. And if I don't with you, I don't you gonna know I don't with you. I keep it real short and sweet. Because what are we talking about? Why am I wasting my time? You know? But you got to be ready to lose people. People come and go. People are fickle. I'm fickle. You fickle. Everybody don't want to talk about that part of themselves. Think about the people that, okay, there can be some people that really admire you, right? That you don't really admire. So you're going to be fickle around the people. Because you don't admire. You don't value them. And let come on now. Stop the cap. I'm trying to be as genuine as I can. But there's some people that you just don't want to fool with. They could be as sweet as can be, as nice as can be, as noble as can be, but you just don't fool with them. And that's fine. But they feel like they're investing so much inside of you, but you're not investing inside of them. That's fickle. That's fickle. Okay? That's not that they can't count on you. They can't. And you hit them with the, oh man, if you need anything, just let me know. Now I probably ain't gonna say that. Because first of all, I don't want you hitting my line. But still, you're giving off some of that. You're giving off because it's socially correct. It's socially correct. But you got to be willing to let people go. But you got to be look, am I willing to lose this relationship? And sometimes you got to be, or else you holding yourself in a place that you don't need to be there too long. And until you learn that lesson, guess what? You're going to keep on learning it, revolve and do it, in and out, over and over. I couldn't wait. I think I thought about this topic on Tuesday. I wanted to talk about forgotten trauma. And think about all the trauma that you pass along. Do you even know how much trauma that you pass along day by day? It ain't even situation by situation. It's day by day that the trauma that you pass. Um, but so we're sitting here, we talking about forgotten trauma. We talking about the trauma that you pass every single day. We talking about the stuff that you're not willing to work on. So now my challenge for you this week, because we're gonna have a nice little setup next week, and I can't wait to show you that next week. But when are you gonna let whatever people are holding against you be your weapon instead of theirs? Whenever you let your shame come to the light, guess what? It's your weapon now. Let your shame come to the light. And then what do people have to say against you whenever you own it? Because of the place that you were is not the place that you are. That's that. So when are you going to let that weapon become yours? That's my question for you this week. That's what, look, the forgotten trauma. Start working on that. Start thinking about the stuff that you just can't remember inside of your mind just because of all the stuff that you allowed yourself to go through. Also, let me get y'all with this one, okay? Because I've seen a lot of women do this. If y'all are physically, mentally, and emotionally done with people, let them go immediately. Talk it out immediately if it's retrievable. Don't be sitting there tagging along. I've been thinking about this for so long. Let them go. Let them go. And I see this more often with women than I do with men. Men, if you want to run around, if you want to be a playboy and all that type of stuff, get the hell on. Stop holding on to them women. Don't be birthing all these kids off of a woman you don't want, and you've been running around all around town doing all that. Get gone. What is the point of sitting in a place that you don't feel like is home? Because you wanted to go experience the world. Go experience the world. Don't hold nobody back just because you feel held back. Go be free. Go be free. The sooner you get done, the trauma gonna get hit regardless. Somebody gonna be hurt. Somebody gonna be crying regardless. But end it soon. Instead of holding on. For what? For what? I just care so much. No, you don't. You are mentally gone. You're gone. You're done. It's over with. Let it be over. Say it's over. Close it off. Shut that door. Get out of here. That's out of door. Get out of there. Get out of there. I know my little brother would be like, get out of there. But I'm serious. Y'all like to prolong the hurt. Y'all like to prolong the hate, the pain. Y'all like to prolong it for what? Because you're not really ready to close that chapter. You're just too much of a coward to say that you got a problem. You're too much of a coward that somebody else will end it before you're ready. So you like to do things on your terms. We got a lot of pride in this society. We got a lot of pain and a lot of trauma in this society. And a lot goes so far if you just start to communicate. That was something that I was empowered with a mama around my age. So don't ever think that you can't learn something from somebody younger than you, somebody older than you. Don't ever think that you can stop learning. Even a fool off the street will teach you something. Be willing to learn. Be willing to accept things. You learn something new every day if you choose to. God bless you. God keep you. See you next week. Ready for the next setup. Yes, sir. Merry